What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Monday, October 2nd, 2023, and I have some breaking news to share with you guys. Right now, it is 1:07 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some strong words coming from the former president of Russia, Dmitry Medvedev. He threatened both Germany and Britain, so I want to update you on that. And I also want to update you on the situation with Serbia and Kosovo. And I also want to share with you guys some interesting flight paths from the last 24 to 48 hours. We had several nuclear war command and control planes in the air over the weekend. We also had some unusual activity in the Baltic countries in Europe. Okay, some unusual NATO reconnaissance activity. So I'll show you guys that. But first, I want to talk about this situation with Medvedev threatening uh, Britain and British soldiers and Germany. So, if you're not aware, over the weekend, um, the defense minister of Britain, the new one, his name is Shaps, he said that Britain would start escorting commercial ships in the Black Sea. And he also said that British soldiers would be deployed to Ukraine to train Ukrainian soldiers in Ukraine. Okay. And I reported on that. I believe it was either Friday or Saturday. And then after that, the British Prime Minister Sunak, he walked back the defense minister's comments and said that there will be no British troops in Ukraine. We obviously know that Sunak was just basically doing damage control, and then the defense minister also did some damage control on his own, and he said that British warships would not go to the Black Sea. So, he made these strong statements and then they walked them back. Um, to me, they were just basically trying to fix their mistake. They said too much, and they're trying to walk it back now. But basically, Medvedev threatened British soldiers in Ukraine because of this. So let me read to you this article coming out of Reuters. So Medvedev said Russia could target any British soldiers training troops in Ukraine. Okay, former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev said on Sunday any British soldiers training Ukrainian soldiers in Ukraine would be legitimate targets for Russian forces, as would German factories producing Taurus missiles should they supply Kyiv. Medvedev, who is deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council and has become an increasingly hawkish and anti Western figure in Russian politics, said such activities by the West were bringing World War III closer. Okay, wow, those are some strong words, guys. Okay. In a post on Telegram, Medvedev first directed his ire towards recently appointed British Defense Minister Grant Shapps, who said in a newspaper interview that London wants to deploy military instructors to Ukraine in addition to training Ukrainian armed forces in Britain or other Western countries as at present. This will turn their instructors into a legal target for our armed forces, understanding perfectly well that they will be ruthlessly destroyed, and not as mercenaries, but namely as British NATO specialists, Medvedev wrote on Telegram. So I want to read this to you again, okay? They will be ruthlessly destroyed. Okay, that's what he said about these British troops that would go into Ukraine. I mean, this is crazy, guys. And then he also said that uh, Russia could strike the Taurus missile production facilities in Germany. Okay, so guys, we are like just right on the cusp of nuclear war. Okay, I mean, we're like right there. All right, tensions are higher now than ever, And tomorrow, Russia is going to be doing a nationwide nuclear war exercise. Okay. And the scenario in this nuclear war exercise is that 70% of the housing in Russia gets destroyed. There's areas of radioactive contamination, and life support facilities are mostly gone. Okay, that's the scenario that they're training for. And then on Wednesday, okay, the U.S. is going to be doing a nationwide emergency alert system test at 2:20 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm going to be live streaming during that test. Okay, starting at around 1:30 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to go live. So if you want to join me on the live stream, we'll experience this test together. But a nationwide emergency alert system test. The only reason our government would ever do something like that is it's basically practicing for nuclear war. Okay, if there's a nuclear war, that is how the US government would notify all of us that there's missiles coming. Okay, otherwise, there's no other way because we don't have air raid sirens anymore. Okay, everything's different nowadays, so they rely on the emergency alert system to send alerts to our cell phones, radios, TVs to let us know that there's Russian missiles coming. Okay, so both Russia and the US drilling for nuclear war this week. Okay, and then Putin going to China in October this month. Okay, and the last time Putin went to China was right before he ordered the invasion of Ukraine. He went to China literally like 2 days before the war started. Okay, so very ominous, this meeting of Putin and Xi Jinping. What they're going to talk about, I have no idea. Is Putin going to ask permission to use weapons of mass destruction on Ukraine? Possibly. Is China going to talk to Putin about attacking Taiwan? Who knows? Okay, but it's very suspicious and very concerning. Um, I want to read to you what Medvedev said about the German Taurus missiles. So, one of the German politicians said over the weekend that it would be perfectly legal for Germany to supply Taurus missiles to Ukraine, and it would also be in compliance with international law if Ukraine used the Taurus missiles to strike into Russian territory with them. Okay, that's what the German politician said. He said it's legal to supply them, and it's legal if Ukraine strikes into Russian territory with them. Okay, and obviously Medvedev didn't like that, and then so he threatened Germany, saying that strikes on German factories where these missiles are made would also be in full compliance with international law. Okay, that's what Medvedev said. Okay, so very, very tense times we're living in right now. We also have some breaking news coming from Serbia. The Serbian Minister of Defense said that if the armed forces of Serbia receive such an order from the Supreme Commander that its units enter the territory of Kosovo as part of Serbia, the armed forces will carry out the task efficiently and successfully. Okay, so the Minister of Defense of Serbia basically saying that if the president gives them the order to enter Kosovo, that they would do it, that he would order that. Okay, so guys, the situation is just absolutely insane. Um, we also had the Prime Minister of Kosovo, Albin Kurti, post on his Twitter account very early this morning saying that attack that occurred, which sparked all this tension between Kosovo and Serbia, the attack that occurred on those police officers in Kosovo, he said that was planned by Serbia, and they found some documents um, that showed that was basically the beginning stages of an invasion of Kosovo, that they were going to start with this hybrid attack, and then the conventional army was going to follow in behind. So crazy stuff, guys. We also have breaking news that Britain is going to be sending 4 Eurofighter Typhoon fighter jets to Poland. Okay, and according to Britain, it's to strengthen Poland's defense against the growing threat from Russia. Okay, so absolutely crazy, guys. Get prepared. Things are really escalating. I have a bad feeling that something is going to happen either this month or next month, something big. Just way too much going on for it to be a coincidence. All the doomsday planes, all the nuclear war planes, these nuclear war exercises tomorrow and Wednesday here in the U.S. and in Russia. Absolutely insane. So I want to just share some flight paths with you guys. So here we have a British sub-hunter plane that appears to have gone into the Russian Arctic, and it actually went off the flight tracker somewhere near northern Norway, but it was aerially refueled by a KC-2 Voyager. Okay, so the fact that it was aerially refueled up here means that it's going to go pretty far into the Russian Arctic. They want to top off the tank before it gets close to Russia. So it flew all the way up there, turned off its transponder up there. So here you can see it shut off its transponder right up here, and this is that aerial refueler. And there was a combat Sentinel plane patrolling the Baltics very early this morning, along with an RC-135 rivet joint, which is a reconnaissance plane, and there was also an Italian reconnaissance plane. But what's most concerning about this is the combat Sentinel plane, the RC-135U. Okay, this plane, there's only two of them in the U.S. Air Force, okay? And if they deploy one of them, that means that something very serious warranted that, okay? So the fact that they moved one of these to Europe and actually had it fly around Kaliningrad means that there's something going on in Kaliningrad that the U.S. military is very concerned about. The combat sent plane gives information directly to our top generals and the president. Okay, so this is like a top priority reconnaissance plane, very similar to an RC 135, but it gives information directly to the president and our top generals. Okay, so they had one of these flying off the coast of Kaliningrad, okay, at the same time as the RC 135 was circling Kaliningrad, and then there was an Italian Recon plane flying in Lithuania along the Belarus border. So I don't know if Russia is going to make a move for the Suwalki Gap, and maybe that's what Putin is going to discuss with Xi Jinping. This is something that I've been warning about for the past year. Okay, here's a closer look, and you can see the combat sent plane was flying right along the Kaliningrad coast here. Okay, it kind of flew in like a boomerang pattern. Okay, right along the Kaliningrad coastline. This is a Russian province here. Okay, a small piece of Russia. So very, very concerning, very rare. I don't think I've ever seen a combat sent plane fly in this area ever. Okay, like I said, there's only two of them in the U.S. Air Force, and they relay information directly to the president and our top generals. Here we have two E-6B Mercury Takamo planes. These are nuclear war command and control planes. They can remotely launch all of our Minuteman III ICBMs from the air. They can also communicate with our bombers and also our submerged nuclear armed submarines. There were two of them in the air yesterday, okay, over the middle of the U.S. And then there was actually a third one late last night that was off the coast of San Francisco. And then there was also one flying over Kansas, doing loops over northern Kansas yesterday. So 4 nuclear war command and control planes in the last 24 hours. That is a lot, okay? So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. I'll keep you updated. I will be doing more updates throughout the day. I'll do another one later on this afternoon and probably another one later on tonight. So stay tuned and Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.